I'm going to be teaching you here how to do releases on a Kanban board because it is different to Scrum. Fundamentally, the only way you get things to disappear from the done column when you've done a release is to do a release. Obviously, in Scrum, when you finish the sprint, the tickets from the done column, all the tickets disappear, obviously, but the tickets from the done column are gone. In Kanban, done, especially the way we're doing it, is in production, so therefore we keep them on the board until they're actually released. But when they are done and gone live, you want to get them off the board. You do this by doing a release. And you step up here, and if there's any tickets here that have got a fixed version, that version will appear here. If not, you have to click New Version. And then you can create a new version, and all the tickets that are in the done column will be assigned to that. Those are the two ways you can do releases, really. I like to pre-assign tickets to a release as they're going through the dev phase, so you know it kind of gives you a reason for tying them all together and understanding what releases they're going to be in, especially if you're working on multiple things at once. You may think, I don't want those to be shipped together. It makes it very clear to the devs if they've got a version number. So, creating version numbers. There's two ways of doing it. Well, there's four, but there's two that are particularly useful, and we're not going to look at the others because they're very old school. Firstly is the one that you'd be very familiar with, I believe. This is the same as it is in Scrum. When you're in the backlog view, even on the Kanban board, as long as the backlog view has been enabled, you expand the versions tray, you click create a new version, it appears here, and you drag and drop stuff onto it like this. Okay, that's exactly the same as it is in Scrum. The thing is, in the Kanban view, if something is in play, it doesn't appear in this backlog view anymore. That's different to Scrum because everything that's in progress appears here. Unless when it's done and the sprint is closed, it will disappear. But anything that is currently in flight on the Kanban board no longer appears in the backlog. So that's fine. You can go here and create your version if you like to do it this way. The other way of doing it, and the way to assign in-flight tickets to a version, is by doing this. Open your issue view, issue detail view, go to the fixed version field, and it has to be the fixed version one. That's how you release stuff. Then you go into the fixed version field and you type in the version that you want. So let's say we want iOS 5.2.4. So as I'm typing this in, you can see the autocomplete list is here, showing you anything that is relevant to what I'm typing in. So you can see we've got some unreleased versions at the top here, some release versions, which you can still assign stuff to. Go, oh, bugger, I meant to put that one, that went in that version. You can do that and make sure for the future reference it's there. And you've also got this ability to create a new version, which you can either click on or you can use the keyboard to up and down and press enter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new one. I'm going to carry on typing the number I actually want, which is 524. And you see there's no other things that match that. And that's good. Really, when you're auto-completing it, you want the list to be empty. When you're creating a version, at the very least. So I go iOS 524. Now, you can either click on that in the list or you can press enter. So I'm going to press enter. Doing that has created the version, but it hasn't finished assigning this ticket to that version. To do that, you either have to press enter on your keyboard again or click the tick. I'm going to go with enter again. You can see spinny wheel. Right, now this ticket is assigned to that version. That's great. And then you just go through any other issue you want to assign to that version. So let's go, okay, this is something that's in flight, not assigned to a version. I don't need to create one anymore. I just want to assign it to one that exists. So I start typing in. You don't even have to prefix the iOS bit. I know it's 524. There you go. It appeared in the list, unreleased version. Tap enter, and it will assign it to it. I'm not going to do that for the sake of this because it will be the wrong thing for that version, that ticket. I'm going to go back here and remove that version because that's also not part of that release. Anyway, let's say that was still part of 524 and you put it into done. Then when you go up to release, you'll have iOS 524 in that list as well. If you just go and do release, it will just remove the tickets that are part of 524 from that done column. Now, you've probably noticed the glaring error or thing that can occur is that you have tickets here that aren't actually part of a release, they're just work you have to do. Now the easiest way, and you want to get them off your board of course, so what I've done is I've created a version and released it. So you just then add these tickets to that release and they'll just disappear. So let's say, for example, I go to the released board just to check what it's called. I only want to see released tickets. Okay, done but not part of a release. That's the version name. So if you've got a ticket like a spike or a task or something like that, which is work that's been done, but it's definitely not part of a release itself, you go back to the play view, which I didn't tap on, and you've got a ticket here. So create a new add CMS build. Cool. Well, we know we did it because it's in the done column, but also it wasn't actually part of a release, it was an ad hoc thing. So now I'm just going to type in here, done, but not part of a release. You can see that thing has already pre-populated. So I'm going to press enter again to actually assign it to that version. And now you can see that that's got the version, that would be a version number, but it's not a version number of course. If I refresh the board, that will no longer be in the done column because it is assigned to a released version. And that is how you do a release.